Jumpin In on Manx Radio.
With Howard and Chris Kane.
Hello.
Good evening.
And welcome. And here we are once again, would you believe? It is that time of the week. Saturday night, 9 o'clock, our favourite time of the week. We hope it's yours as well. It's Jumpin' In, the best in modern and contemporary jazz with Chris and myself, H. And a bit of a special.
Yes, welcome to another special edition of Jumpin' In. Regular listeners know we were away a couple of weeks ago, and when the Brothers Jazz go travelling, we like to pack in as much as possible. So where did we go? Well, we started in London, we'll come back to that in a minute, and then to a place that's as famous as the birthplace of that most jazzy of instruments, the sax, as its inventor came from there. And of course there's the Monks and Lolo, more of which later. We try to give you a flavour of the weekend, although not necessarily in the right order. In between travel hiccups and helpful organisers, we sat down to a swinging open set from this man, Stéphane Mercier. Here's Route 166. Trip 166, taken from saxophonist Stéphane Mercier's 2018 album Trip, featuring Peter Hertmans on guitar, Nicola Andrioli on piano, he who played with Philip Catherine. He was also playing at this festival, but not with Stéphane on this occasion, who had a guest star on keyboards, Jason Rebello, Cedric Raymond on bass, Matthias de Wael on drums, and of course Stéphane Mercier on the sax. Now, en route to Dinant, for that's the Belgian town where the festival was held, we had an overnight stop in London, where we saw a great set at the, where was it again?
At the Vortex.
The
in
Vortex,
Dalston.
indeed.
Wonderful place. We always think it's a bit off out of the way, but it's actually not that difficult to get to. Really nice vibe when you get in there. Interesting smells on the way in, but that's another story altogether. And a nice little club when you get there. And Antlaw was playing there with a trio. Wonderful stuff. Super nice guy. And we had a little chat. This is his latest album, Outside In Music, which features, well, him with Alex Hitchcock and a host of great names. Here's a track called Outliers. Terrific stuff from his latest album, which is entitled Same Moon in the Same World. Ant Law and Alex Hitchcock with, a lineup of the so many great names appears on the album. Shine Maestro on piano in places, Joel Ross on vibraphone, Linda Mahan O on bass, Eric Harland on drums, Jeff Ballard on drums and some as well, Sun Mi Hong, etc., etc. There's and Tim Holland as well playing, I should add. Terrific stuff. I haven't actually got through the entire album yet, but he was plugging it on the night and selling real CDs. And it said inside, "Thank you for buying this real old-fashioned physical CD." Track was called Outliers, and we had a chat after his trio gig, which was really good. Dave Hamblett on drums and Orlando Fleming on bass. Really nice guy. He said, "Don't take too long, I've got my wife and I've got to get home," he said. So we started off by saying lovely gig, and also the fact that, of course, it was a trio of all band leaders.
Yes, indeed. It's been a few years since Dave Hamblett, our drummer this evening. Yeah, exactly. He has an amazing album called Light at Night.
Yeah.
And but yeah, Orlando's increasingly active, isn't he, with the romantic funk thing? And,
Yeah. And of course, the one thing I wanted to ask you was, you've got a bit of a history of trios, really, because Orlando had, obviously, the Owl Trio, and then you had Trio HLK, neither of which we got any further material from, disappointingly. But this new group, you've got some recording due to come out soon.
Yes, indeed. I should say Trio HLK is very active, actually, and we're working on our second album. The music is so detailed that it does take ages.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, that band is well and truly alive.
No, very glad to hear that.
Yeah. But yeah, the trio, actually, the music I recorded with Orlando, it didn't feature Dave on drums. We had an amazing Cuban drummer called Ernesto Simpson and Guillem Simcock on piano and Will Vinson on alto sax. So yeah, it's a different group, but Orlando is in it. Sadly, Dave isn't. But so most of it's quintet. Actually, and Brigitte Beraha joins on vocals. She's put words to some of the melodies, and yeah, very pleased with how that's sounding. It's going to take a bit of time to finish it off, but it's basically done. All the recording's done.
So, new album, working title, we're hearing this evening, Unified Theories.
Exactly,
but maybe, is that work in progress or might change yet?
I mean, I like the title, but, we'll probably see if people hate it when we ask them.
It came across as the unbelievable heaviness of the theory of uncertainty about the album title this evening.
Right. I'm kind of committed to it. I don't know. I guess today I'm feeling it's a bit of an uncertain day. You know what I mean? But I like it. Unified Theories. My first album was called Entanglement. Second album is called Zero Sum World. There's a bit of a theme of scientific concepts, I suppose. So why not stick with it?
Is that something which sort of works for you musically? Thinking about that, melding that idea with your musical.
I think so. I think it's more a title. Just kind of sets me off thinking about things. Actually, I guess I like it when music does that. So yeah, it's probably fair to say. Yeah.
Theory, playing the trio format this evening, of course, it means that other than you with a harmony instrument, and a lot of the time when you're playing lead, there's no harmony in the band. Do you feel that it gives you more scope or more space to work in, or do you like playing with just a variety of different formats?
I mean, I do love playing in a variety of different formats, but it also does give you a lot more scope. You can control the harmony a lot more. In a trio, there's more space to fill if you wish to fill it, or you can leave the space there. But definitely you could do more than you could if there was another harmony instrument, as you said. If there's a pianist, I love piano. I play a lot with pianists, and that's great. But definitely that affects how much harmonic freedom I have. Yeah.
And just switching back and forth again between the acoustic and the electric this evening, and I suppose in a small setting like this, it's really nice to get the acoustic out. It's got that sort of intimate vibe. Really good. Did you feel that?
Yeah, I really loved those bits. It was lovely and soft, wasn't it? And it just had it really had an acoustic unplugged energy, didn't it? Yeah, that's the first time I've ever played the acoustic, guys. So thanks for checking it out.
Great.
Yeah, I'll stick with it if you think it's
totally
a keeper then.
Thanks very much for taking the time out this evening to talk to us. I know you've got plenty of things to do, including putting away all your kit.
Going home, exactly. Lovely to meet you again, chaps. See you up in Southport sometime. And,
look forward
to the Isle of Man. Yeah,
cheers.
Nice one.
Thanks, man.
Trio HLK there with Extrasensory Perception Part 2, featuring the wonderful Evelyn Galeni on the vibes and marimba from their debut album Standard Time, released back in 2018. And as you heard from Ant Law there will be another one to look forward to, and I, for one, can't wait to hear it.
Terrific stuff, and amazing player, Evelyn Glennie. And thanks very much indeed to Ant Law as well. Over to Belgium, of course, and it all gets a little bit blurred. I don't think it's anything to do with the Lef beer, but
it might be.
It could well be. But on the 29th, which was the Saturday, started off in the evening at around about 6:30 in a lovely tent in the grounds of the Abbey with the Fabrice Alleman Quartet, with one of my favourite drummers on the Belgian jazz circuit, Mimi Verderam, and from his latest, and he was playing stuff from his latest album live, and this track we actually did hear in a live setting. Beautiful it was too. It's called Spirit. did a lovely version of that live at the Dinant Jazz Festival 2023. Fabrice Alman on sax, Mibi Vedaram, very tasteful on drums as ever, Jean-Louis Rassefort on the bass, and Nicola, again, I think, Andrioli at the piano, and the album is called Spirit, and I think that track is more or less called Spirit, or actually Spirit, brackets, can a simple song touch the souls, close bracket.
Very good indeed, and it did. And now, as you gathered from the beginning, I said we were a bit stuck when we arrived. We did visit Dinant Festival back in 2006. Gosh, is it really such a long time ago? For a wonderful ECM special. But the setup has been changed from that time. We waited at the station for a cab to our hotel. None came. Then we walked to the far end of town where the tickets had been last time to find... No, nothing there. It was right at the opposite end of town at the Left Monastery. So we carried on it being between rain and sunshine, dragging our suitcases to the monastery. And our hotel, which was lovely, I might add, but was 8 kilometres out of town, and we were a bit stuck. Despite the fact they were setting up the festival, the lovely Lolo volunteered her car, and one of the organisers drove us to the hotel. Fantastic service indeed. Many thanks to them. This is a very friendly festival. We'll definitely be returning. Now, the artist in residence for the weekend was the harmonica legend Gregoire Marais, and his harp versus harp battle with the diminutive Colombian harpist Edmar Castaneda was one of the high spots for many people. And at their festival, although he may not be tall, Edmar is categorically a giant of the harp, as you can hear. Here's Santa Marina. Santa Marina from the amazing Edmar Castaneda and the equally fleet harmonica of Gregoire Murray. And on this recording, you also heard Bella Fleck on banjo. In concert, we were treated to Christian Sands on the piano, and you may remember we interviewed Christian at Ronnie Scott's a couple of years ago at the London Jazz Festival. The album, Harp vs. Harp, is on the ACT label, and if you get the chance to see them live, grab it, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, absolutely a virtuoso on the harp, amazing player, and also one of those smiley players, if you know what I mean. He was beaming throughout, looking like he loved every minute of it. It is Jumping In, Chris and H with our little Dinant Jazz special back from the Dinant 2023 Jazz Festival. And another highlight for me was the wonderful Kenny Barron was playing there with the great Jonathan Blake at the drums. Don't think there's anything with that direct trio, nothing I've got my hands on in any case, but a wonderful album that Kenny recorded a while back was live at Bradley's, the perfect set, the Kenny Barron trio with Ray Drummond at bass, Ben Riley drums in this particular case. And here's Thelonious Monk's Shuffle Boil.
Hey folks, this is Ant Law here, Ant Law Guitar. You're listening to Jumpin' In, Chris and H on Manx Radio.
One of those tracks with a sudden ending, which always catches you out a little bit. So first off, we had the great Kenny Barron there playing live, as you gathered, at Bradley's in New York. It's actually with his trio there with Ray Drummond and Ben Riley, but actually that was a solo track, of course. Shuffle Boyle, the great Thelonious Monk track recorded at Bradley's in April of 1996. 2 volumes of that, live at Bradley's 1 and 2. I think some of them are sort of rated as some of the best piano trio music sort of ever. It gets very highly reviewed, both those albums. And the live at Bradley's 2 I saw as a hidden gems from the vaults one time, I think, in Jazzwise magazine, saying it's an incredible album.
They're both brilliant. It actually refers they'll be back for a third set, but there is no third set as far as I can find out. The first 2 are fabulous.
Lost the tapes on that one, maybe. And then after that, another man we squeezed in who was playing with the Dinant Jazz Orchestra, who featured the likes of Maxime Blesson and Mimi Verderam again, wonderfully on drums, Nicholas Kumar, and the man we heard... I tell a lie, it wasn't with the Dinant Jazz Orchestra. He played with Gregoire Mallet with the Ennio Morricone project, and that was the pianist Romain Collin from his Act album called Press Enter, featuring Luke Curtis on double bass, Kendrick Scott on the drums, and another great lineup in that elsewhere in the album. Jean-Michel Pilk features on whistles, interestingly enough, and Mino Sinellu, who of course used to play with Miles Davis back in the day, on percussion, and that one came out in Act a few years back. All in all, though, a fantastic festival, and as Chris said, super, super friendly. I must admit that they sort of can't do enough for you, and if you like beer, the beer's not bad either.
Yeah, not going to be disappointed. Put it down on the list. A festival we cannot recommend highly enough. Great music, great beer, as H said, Leffe on tap, and great company, thanks to the lovely Lolo and all the other supporters who are more than helpful, and the fantastic CD stall. Can't mention that either.
Oh my lord, the biggest we've seen in years.
Years. Came to an end all too soon, and on the final set, dodging the thunderstorms, was Sax Supremo Chris Potter with a blistering set that left the capacity crowd on their feet shouting for encores from his 2019 album Circuits, featuring James Francis on keys and Eric Harland on drums. As at the festival, we'll leave you with Hold It. See you next time, Dinant.
See you next time, indeed. We'll have a usual one next week, usual show, so stay tuned. See you then.
Same time, same place. Bye.